This is the original 99X. I'm Barnes, and that is Leslie Fram.
Hi, Barnes.
Hey, Fram.
Good morning.
You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Fun guest that we're about to bring on, John Faye, who, if you're a 99X fan back in the day, you will remember this song. Let me give you just a little taste.
Is there one girl, just one girl who says I'm bigger than Jesus now? And I love her, I'm bigger than Jesus now. Up above her, I'm stage diving, of the church of the holier than thou.
Yeah.
I'm bigger than Jesus now.
That is on my list of all-time favorite songs. Let's bring John in. Hey, John.
What's up, Barnes? What's up, Leslie? How are you guys?
John Faye, who
Doing
looks
good.
exactly like John Faye from back in the Caulfield days.
No lie, that is one of my favorite foot-stomping pop songs of all time, and that's what drew me to you.
And it never sounded better than the time you played drums on it at American Pie.
Yeah, out of time, but at least I was there. I saw you the first time with the Caulfields at the Dark Horse.
Yes.
And it was a dingy, humid night in the basement down there, and you just tore it up. And I couldn't believe, I was like, who is this guy? And then over the years, we formed a friendship.
That's right.
And it's been amazing. And now you've got a book out.
I know. Isn't that crazy? It was quite a journey to write the book. I mean, I started it in 2017, so we're going on 6 years of a process to get it out. And it's not even out yet. It comes out on April 4th. So, but it's, a lot of soul searching went into it.
That's what I was going to ask. Tell us the name of the book, and is this just about your career surviving in the music business?
It's a lot more than that, Leslie. So the book is called The Yin and The Yang of It All. And a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm of mixed race heritage. I'm half Korean and half Irish. And so that sort of duality of identity really kind of has informed my entire life, my entire career as a musician. It's kind of one of the main drivers as to what drew me to music in the first place, because I felt so much like a misfit in the world, and what better place than rock and roll to try to find a place for yourself, right?
Well, you've continually redefined yourself. After the Caulfields finished, you had the John Faye Power Trip, you had Ike, you've been with a duo with someone, you come out with all types of... You never stop creating, which is really a true, telling of who, what an artist is. And I want to go back, because you cover this in the book. Let's go back to what I just said.
Yeah.
The Caulfields ended. What happened? You had so much momentum with that song. What happened?
Well, that's the thing about it. And going back to the title of the book, the yin and the yang of it all, we had all these great things happening with our first album. And, we were on radio stations all over the country, 99X being one of them. I mean, we were a Delaware band. We're not an Atlanta band, but you guys were so welcoming to us.
Right.
And, we did our second record, and then things started to sort of shift in a very dramatic way. A&M Records started, talks about merging with a bigger corporation. Our A&R guy got fired, which is, as many people know, the kiss of death. Mm-hmm. And we tried to keep going.
What that is.
So
explain what an A&R guy is.
So an A&R guy it stands for artist and repertoire, and that's the person that signs you to the label. That's the person that is not only your advocate within the label, that's the person who helps you pick a producer, who listens to your songs when in the demo phase and guides you. And so when you don't have that person anymore at the label, or they assigned us another person, but that person doesn't have they don't have a vested interest in your success.
When your key person leaves, you have no advocate or champion within the record label. It's happened to bands over and over again.
Right. Our story is typical in that sense, because it happened to a lot of bands that, maybe had a song on the radio, and then their next record, all these different things happen. We tried to keep going with our second record, and we toured for about 6 months, and it's a whole different experience when you're going from you've got tour support, you've got, every town you go to, they have everything is set up for you. It felt almost like we were an unsigned band again, even though we were still on a label, and we had, some great experiences doing that, but it ground us down, and some of the personal, sort of interpersonal things within the band started to deteriorate. One of the band members had a little bit of a drinking problem, and that's
rock and roll.
Well, I guess so. We were about the least rock and roll band within our genre, but yeah, he kind of lived it. He walked the walk a little more than everybody else did. And so what
I heard you say one time in an interview that you were a lot of the times fame adjacent.
Exactly.
And I thought that was a really funny term, and it's hard to make it as a band. You came out with a song that was very unique and was also polarizing in a sense that you had religious groups coming after you.
Yes.
I'm bigger than Jesus.
It was a double-edged sword, like
totally.
It's literally the song that got us the record deal, but it's also the song that sort of put us on a path where, maybe we weren't going to be like universally accepted, especially within, getting played on radio stations and that kind of stuff. It really would depend on the part of the country.
Well, I was a big fan of the John Faye Power Trip. But tell us,
Yes.
outside of that and the Caulfields, what else do you cover in the book?
Yeah, are there rock stories? Or
there's many rock stories, but one of the things that I knew going into writing the book was that I couldn't just, I couldn't write my book the way, say, Keith Richards would write his book, because he's just he's a world famous entity, and I'm not a household name, but I was sort of in that world. And so one of the things that I talk about is, I always seem to be on the cusp of things. When I talk about, my racial makeup, I'm not, I don't feel particularly Korean or particularly Irish, so I'm kind of out of place. And when I was in, the higher echelons of the music business, I almost felt like I was on the outside looking in. And the truth of it is, in 1995, how many Asian American lead singers other than me did you know, other than maybe Todd Park?
Oh,
Yeah,
zero. Well, no, actually none.
Yeah, there were none. So, and I didn't make that like the forefront of my existence. I mean, I was just trying to be me. I don't wake up and feel, hey, it's another day of being Asian. It's the only time that I feel that is when I'm reminded of that by outside forces, and those.
I wake up and feel very honky every day. How do you not?
Well, I probably feel more honky than Asian most days. But the thing about it is that it really does inform every aspect of how I went through my career. And so one of the things that I came to realize through writing the book is that, I always felt different growing up. I always felt different even as a signed recording artist. But going through all the experiences, you mentioned how much I've sort of reinvented and started over.
You did.
It took all of those iterations for me to come to my own conclusion that I'm different, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you're made to feel different in a bad way. But I see all of, I just want to stay hungry. That's one of the reasons that I do kind of, now I embrace starting over. A lot of people are trying to just find that one situation that they can make last forever. And I'm all about okay, I did this. What's a new thing that I can do? And that's why.
Well, you want some, you want proof? You want some proof?
Give me proof.
You're on the Morning X, who I thought was gone years ago.
Right?
We had no idea we'd be sitting here talking to 17 people on the radio.
Did you ever think that? And I think that that's the coolest thing, that you guys are back.
I think your
awesome.
career is an inspiration to a lot of independent artists as well, and underrepresented voices. And what you've been able to do to reinvent yourself and stay positive is incredible.
Well, I
always like when
that.
people come up and say, hey, I want to tell you about a band, and then you discover that there's this whole catalog of music that you never got a chance to enjoy. I highly recommend go back in your Apple Music, your Spotify, whatever. Find the Caulfields, first of all, a couple albums. The John Faye Power Trip, Ike. it all kind of sounds, because it's got his signature voice on it. But man, you are really talented. It was great to see you. And the book, The Yin and Yang of It All, coming out soon, both paper, right? Paperback, hardback?
Well, it's hardback, Kindle, and there will be an audiobook. It won't be out concurrently because I'm still working on it, but it will be out shortly after the hardcover, April 4th.
Can I just call you in the evenings for like 15 minutes and you can read me a chapter?
I'll read you to sleep, my friend. Anything you want.
You. All right, John Faye, great to see you.
It's great to see you both. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
This is The Morning X. It's 99X.